Hey everyone, and welcome to this amazing summit. Unleash your inner wilds. And today we have Stephanie Grover with us. Hey, my friend.
Hi, good to be here with you.
It's so nice to have you here, my love. It's a blessing. And my name is Tanja Andersen, if you don't know it, and I'm the host on this interview in this show. So today we will talk about self-care, self-love, and self-worth. And Stephanie, she is a specialized expert in the field around holistic nutrition, function medicine coach that specialize to help people that heal the body and transform their life through natural remedies and lifestyle medicine. So, my love, tell us a little bit who you are if I miss a few words in it.
No, Tanya, that was perfect. So I do virtual coaching with clients, and I specialize in working with people through functional medicine principles. And as you mentioned, I'm a nutritionist, and I specialize in working with people to help them heal and rebalance their body at a cellular level. And we do that all through natural remedies, food, all this kind of thing. Food is nature's best medicine. And then we do it through lifestyle remedies as well, lifestyle medicine. So managing stress and looking at your sleep. What are your lifestyle choices that are affecting your health at the moment? And I work with people then to, as I said, at a cellular level to rebalance the three most important core systems in the body that when imbalanced lead to disease. So that is your digestive system and your gut, your immune system and inflammation, and then your liver and your detoxification system. So if you are experiencing any kind of symptom, whether it's chronic headaches, whether it's insomnia, maybe it's bloating, or maybe it's a little bit more extreme, something like an autoimmune condition that you've been diagnosed with, Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, all this kind of thing, you are guaranteed that either one or all three of those core systems are imbalanced. So I work with people whether they have little symptoms or little symptoms, no symptoms are really little. So whether they're dealing with symptoms or whether they are trying to manage and reverse certain conditions, I work with people to rebalance those three systems through natural and lifestyle medicine.
Amazing, my friend. And why did I pick Stephanie? Stephanie and me have met each other, known each other for 1 year ago or something like 1 year. And in the beginning, I have a little bit nerds to Stephanie because Stephanie, she is, as I see, expert in the field around food and health. And in the past, I was stuffing my body with food that was unhealthy for my body, for me to say no to connecting with my self-care, self-love, and self-worth. So that was my pain I choose to use on myself. So in that act, when I choose to move forward into see, okay, I get to connect with my body with the food, I was getting more connecting with Stephanie more and learn from her why it is so important for us to really truly choose our body to live a thriving life in wherever we are in life. Our body is really our temple that is giving our energy to move and make amazing choices in life. So that's why I picked Stephanie, and I love Stephanie. It's a dear, dear friend to me. So I know she will give you so much value around how you really can learn self-care, self-love, and self-worth.
Fantastic. Tanya, thank you so much for having me on the show. And it's such a blessing for me to speak to your audience today as well. And self-care, self-love, self-worth, it's such an important topic. So I'm grateful that I get a chance to speak about this particularly with you guys today.
It is, my love. So why did you choose to work with self-care, self-love, and self-worth?
Yeah, so I'm not going to lie, I used to actually hate the term self-love. It used to trigger me because when I heard the term self-love, I used to think of like Instagram influencers, like, oh, self-love, I'm going to take this nice hot bath and I'm going to like use it as an excuse to not do things I should be doing because it's a form of self-love. And that's not how it is, but that was my experience with the word. And I'm like, oh, absolutely hate this word, but it is so much more than what I understood it to be back in the day or a few years ago. And since I've grasped the concept and the importance of self-love and self-worth. It has become a fundamental part of my coaching and the work that I do. And why I say that, why it's become so important, is because I started to notice a pattern with clients, with people, not just my clients, but the people around me. And it is impossible to make healthy choices, to make choices that benefit you, that benefit your body. It is, or let me rather say, it's much more challenging to actually create sustainable, lasting lifestyle habits if you don't value yourself. You do not look after things that you do not value. But the moment you cherish something, you value it, you look after it. If you've got a Ferrari parked in the driveway, you are going to make sure that that thing is looked after. Nobody's touching it without washing their hands first, kind of thing, because you attach so much value to it. But if it's a little toy car that you bought for $1 at Dollar Tree or something, you don't care if it gets broken, or if it gets lost, whatever. You throw it in the cupboard, throw it down the stairs, it doesn't matter. So and my goal is always to make sure my clients get to a point where they are so empowered and they feel and look incredible that they no longer need to work with me. In order to get somebody to that point, to value themselves enough to actually want to make the changes, to believe that they can make the changes, to know that they are deserving of living, of creating a life well lived, they need to you need to first create that sense of self-worth, that self-value. And when you have that, self-love comes with it. Self-care is automatic when you value yourself.
So
and the results that people see are just like 10x'd after you start with that one foundational piece.
True. So true. It's like the foundation for everything is really like your own foundation to who you are, what you see in the mirror, as I see it. So you have talked a little bit about, so if you get specific around what is the 3 things you have received around your own self-care and self-worth to yourself, what will that be?
Oh my goodness. So I want to say one of the biggest things for me when I started to focus on self-worth, the biggest benefit that I've experienced is I created a lot more freedom in my life. And it's like, I don't want to go into too much detail with that, but freedom starts to show up in so many different areas. When I started to value myself, I started to show up bigger in the world. I would not have the business that I have today. I've got multiple businesses that I run all over not all over the world, but in multiple countries. There's no way I would have been able to do that if I didn't first create or establish that sense of self-worth. Because if you had to, and it didn't take me 10 years, but when I made that decision, when I allowed myself to actually become uncomfortable, because if you don't look after yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't value yourself, the moment you start to take action to create that value or that love, it is incredibly uncomfortable. You're not used to it. It feels weird. You don't want to do it.
It's so true.
So it doesn't happen like overnight, but these small little actions you keep taking, it also doesn't have to take 10 years. It is a constant journey. It's something you always have to work on. But I want to say 3 years for me was probably a bit of a journey. And then the last year was a massive leap in self-worth and self-love for me. But if you had told me like 3 years ago I would be doing what I'm doing now and achieved what I've achieved, I would have said you're talking complete nonsense. Like there's no way me, who would hide herself and didn't think she was worthy of having an incredible relationship, of earning good money, of traveling the world, of all these kind of things. It wasn't for me. Why me? Why me? I'm nobody special. Why? It's not going to happen. It's not for me. It's not my destiny. It's not my purpose. And all that is bullshit.
True.
So the moment that I started to get uncomfortable and give myself permission to start loving myself deeply in so many different ways, things started to change. I showed up differently in the world, and the world showed up differently for me.
I love that.
It's like night and day. So there was so much freedom that came with it. Freedom from not feeling like I need to hide. Freedom from my emotions of not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving. Freedom of fear.
That's a good one.
I don't know how to really explain that, but I stopped fearing things in the world because I loved myself. The more I started to love and develop the self-worth, the more confident I became. And the bolder, the bigger steps I took, the fear started to, I wouldn't say the fear diminished, but I was able to develop the courage to rise above anything that I was fearing. So life just looks so different for you, so different. And like I say, self-love and first of all, developing that self-worth and then maintaining it is a daily, not effort, but it's a daily practice, because you're going to have situations, whether it's in your career, your job, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's social media is a huge one that makes you feel less than, that puts you into a comparative state of mind. It might be comments you're getting from colleagues, from your partner, from your family, that make you feel less than. And that's something that we need to rise above. It's when we have not established that self-worth, we are triggered by all those things. And what is one comment can put us in this downward spiral that lasts months and steal so much of our joy.
Yeah.
But when we are strong enough and love ourselves enough, because I don't care if you're going to love me. I love me. God loves me. And that's all I need to know.
Amen.
So those words that you are saying, that little comment or that picture on Instagram doesn't trigger me. I'm not losing 2 weeks of joy. It is what it is. That's your opinion. That's your thoughts. Fantastic. That's not my truth. It's all good.
I love that. It's like what has really has supported me in that what you talk about is feedback is like a mirror. So when I receive judgment, as you also receive judgments, definitely I know you do that. Feedback is like a mirror. Judgments is also feedback into what the other person choose to say no to, take responsibility about, choose to say no to heal, because it's all about the other person, because we are mirror in each other.
We are mirroring each other 100%. And you know, your outside world is a reflection of your inside world. When you're talking about this mirror. And what I would love for the audience to really pick up or take away from this, if nothing else, is
good one.
Whatever we want to see in the world around us, we need to generate from within first. If you are feeling like you are being judged, are you judging yourself? And are you judging others? Because if there's judgment in your life, you are generating it somehow. Your outside world is a reflection of your inside world. If you are not feeling accepted, are you accepting yourself?
True.
Are you accepting others? Because if you are not feeling accepted, you are generating unacceptance, I think is the word. So it's very powerful for us to start with the inner work.
Yeah,
inner work with everything. If you want to experience more love in your life, start with loving yourself. Generate more love outwardly. Because we cannot sit here and expect everybody else to love us, to see us, to appreciate us, if we cannot love, see, and appreciate or accept ourselves. It's hypocritical. We can't expect others to do for us what we were not willing to do for ourselves.
No. And here, before we're going into what Stephanie have to you, because he have some interesting stuff to you guys, what you're really sharing around is so important. As my experience, total experience from my life is, I started my coach education in 2014, 2016. Afterwards, I feel I'm good. I was going for myself. I'll just say bullshit, because it's so important to be around, like Stephanie, around someone that remind you about your self-care, self-love, self-worth. And I choose to say no to that, because I choose to listen more to my small voice, compared to be together with one that can always remind me about my self-worth and really give me up to the next level. If we truly choose, as I did for over 2 years, I was getting a breakdown and I was close to taking my own life, because I choose to listen to the outside world, to people that will give me so much feedback, instead of choosing my self-worth, choosing to be around a coach that really can lift me up, call me out and find the bigger in me. That is something I really could see I was missing there. For my coach educations too, I was not, how much big difference it is for me to really remind me about how important it is to do self-care, like do your nails, do your feet, do your body, like eat healthy, like all the small stuff we could do to fill up our cup with self-love. And when I say no to be around someone that can stand there for me in the storm, my cup was empty, and that was ending so horrible. So it's so important, no matter what, to be with one, no matter what, in your whole life. That is a big lesson I've learned from my life when I was really down to say no to live my life.
That's beautiful, Tanya. And you are spot on there with two things that you said. That, one aspect of self-love is learning to say no.
Yeah.
Learning to say no to things that don't serve you, situations that don't serve you. And then the second thing you mentioned is another form of self-love is loving yourself by being intentional with the people you hang around with. Exactly what you were saying, being around people that weren't serving you, that were putting you down, that weren't lifting you up. And so many of us will stay in toxic relationships. And I don't just mean like romantic relationships, friendships, because we've known this person for 10 years or 20 years, or because you feel this person needs you or whatever. So you can't take a step back. But this person could be draining for you. It could be stealing your joy. They could be putting you down, not lifting you up. And a form of self-care, of self-love, is to become intentional about the people you hang around with and create the courage within yourself to say, this is enough. You can continue to love people, but sometimes you need to love them from a distance, and that's okay. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So not everybody's supposed to be there forever. Yeah. You've got to teach them a lesson, they got to teach you. So learning to let go of what doesn't serve you in this time of your life, and having the courage to go after what does. And we know what serves us. We know what we need. We're not always connected to it because we are busy. You are a mom, a wife, a business owner, whatever. You go, and we don't always take the time to just calm our thoughts and sit with ourselves. Like, what is it that I need right now? But the moment you do that, you will know exactly what it is that you need. And self-love comes in so many different forms. It's not just having your nails done and all this kind of thing. Making yourself a nutritious meal is a form of self-love.
Exactly. Like what you give your body. Yeah.
What you're putting in your mind, your body, your soul. If you're a spiritual person, do you spend time reading your Bible or praying or whatever that is for you? Because that's a form of self-care. If that is something that is important to you, like, don't neglect the things that fill your cup. Don't neglect the things that you value because you are too busy. Because what's going to happen, you are going to burn out. And if you are the kind of person who wants to achieve big things, if you are the kind of person who wants to be the best mother possible, the best wife possible, if you are the kind of person who is on a mission to still find their purpose, like, there is more out there for you, but you're frustrated because you don't know what it is. The only way you are going to get clear on that is when you start getting clear on what it is that you value and starting to live in alignment with that. The only way you're going to get clear is if you start to incorporate more self-love into your life. And if we look at it from a purely health perspective, not spiritual or soul, but from a physical body perspective, if you are unhealthy, if your gut is damaged, It creates anxiety, it creates depression, it creates brain fog, it creates fatigue, it creates acne, which often destroys our self-confidence. So if you have brain fog, if you can't think clearly, if you are fatigued, how is your brain supposed to work or be clear enough for you to see what it is you're supposed to do, for you to discover your vision? If you are so tired that you want to spend, you always feel like you could sleep for a week. If you are so tired all the time, how are you going to create this vision? How are you going to go out and be the best mom, be the best wife, do big things, whatever it is, if all you actually want to do right now is sleep because your body is sick? So, you know, moving your body to get that oxygen flow to your brain, to your muscles, to help you feel alive and that vitality, we need that in order to show up fully, in order to do big things, to find our purpose, to, you know, it's all this kind of stuff is part of self-love, self-care.
It's so interesting. Everything you are saying, that is where I was in the past, and now I'm really working on my body, because my body was showing signs on that is something I'm not aware about, and my body show that to me if I'm pushing something down. And there has been so much, what they call, out of my comfort zone, to see my body was sick, and I'm working with it right now, and to be honest around that, because the label of sickness, oh my God, I will do anything to not be in it, to acknowledge my body is sick, and I get to heal it. So what you talk about is so important, also to take the step into knowing like what you are called to do. You really get to be healthy and work on it in your mind, soul, and body. And body was so uncomfortable for me, because it was so unknown. I've never done it, and now I like get to know it's like, oh my God, it's so interesting when I work on the body to what I'm eating. There's so many like things from the past, trauma that's sitting in my body that's coming, like popping up, and I letting go of it is so interesting. Like work with the body, what is really coming up, and how you're holding your position when you're going and talking. It's crazy.
Yeah, your body holds on to everything. Your body holds on to not just good and bad, like, you know, trauma and experiences from your life, but you can actually carry around trauma from your parents up all the way up to your grandparents.
Exactly.
It's something that it's called epigenetics. It's actually passed down through the room. And there's a really cool book called The Body Keeps the Score. I can't remember the author right now, but people can take a look at it, and it just talks about how trauma affects the body. The score, you know, you can't escape your trauma, you can't escape your experiences. If you're not dealing with them, it's going to be kept inside and manifest itself in different ways. And that's very interesting to me, actually, that you use the words now. You don't want the label of sickness or being sick.
Oh,
that's interesting to me, because what I experience is that there is a label of being sick, and when somebody who's sick looks a certain way in our mind, they have a disease or an illness or a condition, that's a sick person. Maybe they're in a wheelchair or they're struggling to walk or whatever, that's a sick person. But we don't classify ourselves as sick unless we've been diagnosed with something. And the absence of disease is not the same as the presence of health. Just because you haven't received a diagnosis does not mean that you are healthy. And I hear this from clients when I start working with them, or when I have discovery calls. Someone will say, I'm not sick, I'm a very healthy person, I just don't have any energy and I can't sleep. And I was like, then you're not a healthy person. Or I was working with a lady, she was struggling with her weight, and I'm trying to convert it to pounds. She was 327 pounds, which is like it's heavy.
Yeah.
Just saying, I'm a healthy person, my weight, I have an issue with my weight. And the thing is, that means you are unhealthy, not intentionally. No. But weight gain is a symptom. Insomnia is a symptom of a deeper imbalance. So sick people are all around us. If you have bloating, it means your body is sick. If you have headaches, it means your body is sick. If you can't sleep through the night, it means your body is sick. Sickness is not just a diagnosis. If you are not functioning 100% of the time, 100% of the time, you are sick. Or I could say 80%. If you are not functioning 80% perfect 100% of the time, you are sick.
Yeah, and that's true. I have the blow in my stomach, and I have given it a label like I have that since 2006. After my father, he took his own life, and I have since then I have blowing stomach like so many times. And for me, I put a label. That's just a part of my life. It's like, no, it's not a part of my life, and I've done that for half a year to really face, like, acknowledge it. Sometimes is so uncomfortable, and for me to acknowledge my body is sick. Shit, man. Sorry, my language. I was breaking down with so many tears to really acknowledge my body is sick. Like, the label of sickness has been a part of my life, and I'm running away for it because it doesn't matter. But really acknowledge it is so liberating to really, okay, now I can work with it. And I work with it with so much like clear mind, healthy, and say it's okay. Just take step by step and really get connected with my stomach. It's to acknowledge it is a big step forward into really getting more in it. Yeah,
you cannot change your reality if you don't first face your reality.
Exactly.
So if you're going to be in denial about what's happening, the problem's not going to go away. It's going to get worse internally. It's like taking a cholesterol pill, a statin drug for high cholesterol. The problem's not going away. You're just masking it there. Okay.
Exactly.
We need to acknowledge and be very honest with ourselves about what the situation is, without judgment. It doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter what your hormonal health is. It doesn't matter what your energy. It doesn't matter. Let's just be honest about it so we can start to fix it.
Yeah.
You can get that freedom in life. So you can get that. I talk with my hands. I'm all over the place. That's why I'm getting so hot. But acknowledge it, and we can actually do some things to change it, whether it's your relationship, your health, your business, whatever it is that you are not happy with right now. Acknowledge it from a non-judgmental place, and we can go forward and start to make changes.
Exactly. And that is all about self-care, self-love, and self-worth. Is really acknowledge it with no judgment and be around someone that is seeing the beauty in it for us to take the bold actions into the uncomfortable for change to be healthy again.
Definitely.
So the freebie you have to give to your audience, can you please talk a little bit about them? Because definitely have some goodies to you.
Yes, of course. So I am gifting your audience the most valuable thing I can think of, and that is the gift of my time. So there's a link that you can provide for them. You guys can book a call with me, jump on a free 30-minute call. We can dive into what your current health challenges are. Maybe it is self-love. Maybe you are struggling with self-love or self-worth. We can dive into that. Maybe it's bloating, whatever it is, but we can take a deep dive to investigate what the problem could be. I don't treat symptoms. That's not a thing. I go straight in. What's the root cause? Let's get rid of it. So we can investigate whatever health challenges you are facing at the moment, and I can provide you with a really clear roadmap on the best things that you can do to go about overcoming that. So it's a lot of fun. To book the call, jump on, we'll have a lot of fun.
And where you find the call is below this video, and also in your newsletter. There is the link to book a call with Stephanie and her social media, her bio. So please, now I really invite you, go straight to the link below or into your newsletter and click on book, because it's so important we take actions from our knowledge when we are in it. If we say, I will do it in 5 minutes, we are choosing to say no to self-love to ourselves. We're choosing to say no to self-care and self-worth. When we're choosing that, we also make the action. So please, I really remind you to make the action. At that point, you choose you are important, because you are important and you are worth it to be a half hour together with Stephanie.
For sure. Exactly. Choose yourself, book the call. It can be small actions that you take. One of my clients, for a whole self-care routine at the moment, is just taking her supplements in the morning when she's normally distracted with the kids and breakfast. Every single morning she says, I choose myself. Takes those supplements, and then she carries on with her day. We get to choose ourselves in small moments in the day, small moments through the day.
I love them. And the small moments can be right on your mirror, so you always remind yourself you are worth it.
I love that. It's a fantastic, like a little tip for people to start developing more self-worth is exactly what you said. A little note on the mirror that you can read every day before when you're getting ready for the day. The same thing at night before you go to bed. There's one of my favorite ways to start developing self-worth, and I can promise you now, it's probably going to be one of the most uncomfortable things you ever do in your entire life, like straight up. But it will also be one of the most rewarding things. I've seen the results of this time and time again, and it is never short of miraculous after 30 days. But my advice to you, my stretch to you would be for 30 days to write yourself a love letter every single day. Doesn't have to be pages, but something like write yourself, and not a little note like, hey, Steph, I love you. No, go deep, as if it was your husband or your wife or whatever. Like, write a real love letter about all the things you love about you, and write it as like a third person. Steph, what I love about you is this, and what I appreciate about you is this, and I acknowledge how hard you're working on this, whatever. Write a love letter to yourself every single day for 30 days. The first few days, it's probably going to make you feel so awkward, you're going to want to puke. But keep going. Keep going. This is the absolute best tip I can give you to start to increase your self-worth. When you have self-worth, self-care, self-love is natural. It becomes very easy. But you need to get that self-worth in place. So start to write yourself some love letters. Do it now. Thank me later. You'll probably want to scream at me the first week, and then eventually you're going to hop on a phone call or email me and thank me for it.
I'm on that one. I take your challenge. I take the stress to do a love letter to myself.
Yes.
I've never done that before, so I'm on it.
So powerful.
So thank you so much, everyone, for being here together with Stephanie and me on this amazing talk about how important it is around self-care, self-love, and self-worth. It's so important to choose that. So thank you so much, my love. Thank you so much, Stephanie, to really be an expert to show people, because you are just embody everything about the topic. So thank you so much, my love.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here and speak with you guys, and just congratulations on this whole event, and the work that you're doing is fantastic, Tanja. So thank you for bringing this out to people, to providing this platform for us to share our knowledge with everybody.
You're most welcome. It's a blessing, my love. Thank you, everyone. Please go to the link and book, and see you guys. Mwah. Thank you, everyone. Bye.